Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Welcome to our day of knees in the physical week of Cancer. So we just have other 2 days of this path and then the 5 days out of time. So let's begin with our topic for today, which is the human consciousness. I have some things already here. So just want to let you know that the 5 days out of time, we will be connected for the alignments 2 hours later. So that would be 10:20 p.m. Egypt time. So just remind you that the 5 days out of time will be our last connections at 10:20 p.m. And August 4th, there won't be more any other alignments, okay, every day. But even though I will make some videos before regarding the task of the 12 systems for August 22nd, okay? Let's begin with human consciousness. So first of all, talking about what we said yesterday, about what we said yesterday regarding Animalia, the great family from which we are part of. Humans are not another kingdom. Humans are part of the animal kingdom, okay? And this is important to make difference, or not difference, to make this clarification, because sometimes when we speak about these realms and all these kind of things, we usually can tend to mention the vegetal kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the human kingdom, okay? But it's important to know that that biologically speaking and objectively speaking, there's no human kingdom. Throughout history, we have kind of called this human kingdom because we are very different from the other animals of this great family of Animalia. We have cultures, we do many other things that animals don't do. But actually, there's nothing biologically that separates from any other animal. So we are part of the animal kingdom. We are not a human kingdom. The only thing that makes a huge difference between humans and animals is how we perceive the world and how we work with our inner conception of the world. Sorry. So yeah. For sure, when we think about humans and we say about the human kingdom or the importance of this species upon the animal kingdom, is because we usually say humans are intelligent, and we describe this species like the only intelligent species, and animals are not. And this is a misconception because we know now that many animals are also intelligent. So the reason why we think that the main difference between humans and animals is the intelligence is a very old point of view and even religious point of view. Even religious point of view, in which we believe that humans are upon the animals and we are better, and so we are intelligent and they are not. So actually they haven't done any test before with animals like now has been done. So there are many animals that are intelligent in nature, but and not all of them are like close to humans, like chimpanzees. But there are some other animals, like the octopus, that they are also clever and intelligent in the same way as a cat or a dog. We sometimes can think that you eat octopus, but of course they are as intelligent as a pet. So to understand actually what is why there are animals that are intelligent, we have to remember what intelligent means. Intelligent comes from the Latin word inte legere. Inte means between, and legere means to read. So actually the concept means that you are able to read between the lines, which means that if you have different objects in front, you are able to acknowledge the difference between them and create maybe a third one, or to create an idea or something new from the group of things that you have in front. So you can check and take a new object or idea from the tools that you have in front. That would be intelligence. So, as I said, there are many intelligent beings then that you can check, many of them that can interpret realities and create a third one that you can find in all the animal kingdom, like all the cetaceous family, which includes dolphins, whales, killer whales, how do you call it that? Orca? I don't know. Also other kind of mammals, like the felines, the canines, I don't know, the dogs and the cats, horses, parrots, ravens. So there are many animals in the animal kingdom that has intelligence. Of course, all the apes and all the macaque family, they also are intelligent. So we are not the only ones. So we can mention many of them, like cows, elephants, many of them. So what makes humans so special? Why humans are so different from other animal species? So first of all, we have to remember that all the animal kingdom and other kingdoms too, but mainly the animal kingdom, has these two main differences in how they live the reality, which is the unconscious and the conscious. The unconscious means that all the things that we inherit from our families, from our ancestors, so are all impulses that we inherit as bringing the data from the past, and we act in a reaction to that. So that would be what we share with the animal kingdom, which is to eat, to sleep, and to reproduce. Mainly that is what we share with the animal kingdom. So when we start to speak about the consciousness of the animal kingdom, we can understand that the animal kingdom have evolved in different ways to supply the unconscious needs. So the need for food, the need to sleep, the need to reproduce, they were evolving mostly in mammals to develop a way in which they could connect different individuals by emotions. So they started to create in the brain new perceptions of how to become together as one in order to survive, so they could take care of food, of sleeping, and taking care of one another. So mainly mammals, but also some reptiles, some fishes, some birds. They also evolved in a way that they have relationships, they have a communication, they have love, they have fun. And all these emotions, all these sharings with humor, with love and sharing and all these things are not from the animal kingdom, are not from the human kingdom, are from the animal kingdom. Many animals share these emotions because it helps to them to survive. Okay, so we evolved in this way in order to improve our survival skills. Okay, so because of this, we cannot say that also humans are different from the animal kingdom because we have a very complex communication system, or because we have emotions and links and traditions, because many animals have the same. Okay, have a complex system of communication. Some of them they have a very complex relationships with emotion, even getting fun and falling in love. So that's not something singular from humans. That's not original from humans. We took it from the animal kingdom. So what is the main difference in between all the animal kingdom and humans? It's just the idea that we can live and perceive the reality from the subjective point of view, and we even can take the subjective point of view and manifest it into the objective point of view. So let's go into that. So how can we explain why a human does lives from the subjective point of view, creating the objective point of view? In this way, for example, the world outside is objective, means that it has objects. Okay, so it's objective, and you can see things in the outer world, but when you see them as a human, you can perceive that, and inside of you have a perception, and you create a new idea of it, totally different from what you are seeing. And inside of you, with imagination, you are able to design it in a different way, and then to manifest it outside as something new. For example, something new that doesn't even have a specific goal in survival. For example, to make a painting, something artistic. It doesn't really have a specific survival need, okay? But it's something that you were able to do because you could interpret the objective reality and create a subjective point of view. And the biggest example of all is to look into the sky and believing that there is a God in the sky. All the people in the planet have been living and creating cultures and traditions and religions, believing that there is a God in the skies, a God that you cannot see, that you just can't imagine. And that's subjective. That's something that no other animal species have ever done, because they don't build realities related to invisible ideas. So basically, the main difference that we humans have with all the rest of the animal species is that we have the ability to see things that are not there. And this is related to everything in every level of a human being. So, for example, in religion, is believing in a God that you cannot see. So it's subjective. You just can feel it or try to imagine that, but it's not objective. In terms of politics, for example, to be from the right, to be from the left, to be center, subjective. It's subjective, is not something real. It's just a perception. In education, for example, pedagogy is subjective, is not real. It's just ideas. Okay. In economy, for example, capitalism, communism, free market, that's all ideologies. That's just subjective things. We are the only species from the animal kingdom that live a complete life and an entire society and a complete history through topics that doesn't exist. And this has 2 points of view, one good and the other one bad, as everything in life. So the good thing is, of course, that we wouldn't have done anything that we have done without that point of view of subjective reality upon the objective reality. Is all the arts, all the literature, all the traditions, culture, technology, inventions that we have done in our entire history to be what we are today, it was because we were able to see beyond from what is there in front of us. So that we have to see beyond what is there is not intelligence, it's our ability to see the reality in a subjective way. So the bad thing of this ability is that it would be impossible for everyone to have a main point of support, a main point of support in which we could all rely and say that's the truth, because anything that could happen, we will always see it from our point of view. So truth will be never understood by humans, because we will always see everything in a subjective way. So basically, our greatest ability is our worst weakness. So the reason why we have been doing all this in a bad way is because we are evolving, but because also in the same way as the animals has the unconscious and the conscious way, we also have, as humans, a human unconscious and a human conscious. So let's see this. So the unconscious point of view of a human consciousness, the human unconscious, would be basically that a person that is living through the unconsciousness will be the one that lives its life believing that everything that person sees is real. And this means that every one of us, we have a background that we inherit from our ancestors of beliefs, traditions, from our family, from our cultures, from our history. And when we receive all that without judging it, without understanding it, we just become unconscious, because we cannot make the difference. We cannot understand what is real from what is not. We cannot, from the unconscious point of view, we cannot make the difference between what is a belief or a perception from what is the object. Okay, so we are just following by nature, something that comes from. other humans. So a way to understand this unconscious that we have as a humanity that we all share is through morality and ethics. Morality and ethics are like a kind of a list of things that tells you what is good and what is bad. But what is good and what is bad is a completely subjective reality. For example, the lion that eats the zebra, the lion has no clue what is bad and good, and the zebra has no clue what is bad and good. It just happened. So they don't think if it is bad or good what they are doing. They're just doing it. We are the ones that put the projection, the subjective projection to the nature, believing one thing is good and one thing is bad. But that's something that in nature doesn't exist. So our subjective point of view is being projected to the reality, and we kind of try to put our perception to the entire universe to settle the idea that the universe works according to our morality and ethics. That's an unconscious point of view. Unconscious point of view. For example, in nature, there's only one line to follow, which is survival. Everyone agrees that we have to survive. But we humans put kind of a value in that, which is what is bad and what is good. So we interpret that is bad everything that can kill us. So we start to measure everything that is bad according to something that can kill us. Okay? But nature doesn't think about that. Nature is, okay, I have to survive. But it's not making a morality of thinking what is good and what is wrong. We are the only ones doing that. So what I want to say with this, I'm not saying that what we do is bad, of saying what is good and what is wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong, that we are doing it bad, and that the nature is doing it right because it's objective. So what I am saying is that what we are doing unconsciously is to project our subjective point of view into something that is objective, which is actually not like this. We are unconsciously projecting our points of view into objective, which is not to say, which I'm not mean, I'm not meaning that what we do is wrong of thinking about good and bad. Why is not? Because subjective is basically our evolution. Our path of evolution is through ethics and morality. So we have to think it like in this way, like when you, for example, a monkey that is evolving and is jumping to the other branch to try to catch it, and it's evolving. It's in a process of evolution to try to know how to jump from one tree to another. So we are doing exactly the same with morality and ethics. We are trying to understand what is what is good, what is wrong, in the same way as a monkey is trying to catch the other branch. So we are still in process of evolution. That's why we are doing a mess with our subjectivity, with our morality and ethics, because we have no clue which one is the right one. We are trying to evolve. Trying to evolve. So this evolution that we have taken in the subjective way has been something that took us to a path that that made a lot of confusions along history. Okay, but even today, there is a very misconception from what is subjective and what is objective. So, I spoke about a conflict that today is very, very powerful for us today. I wrote about that in the blog, which are two concepts, which are racism and no-binary sexuality, which are very actual topics, and for sure, many of you won't agree with me, maybe, because everything is subjective. So, related to racism, the word race. The word race is a very old word that sometimes we don't actually know from where it comes from, but one of the probably most accurate origins is the word ras in Arab, that means head. So it was a way in which you can difference from one to another, like, oh, this has this face, this has this other face, this has this kind of head. So it was a way to interpret the different kind of people. So along history, different types of concepts of races started to be used to separate people, which was not the goal of the word race, but it was used in order to do that, to slave people. So they started to slave people according to the heads, according to the race that they had. And this created this concept, this idea that you can be upon some other race and one is better than the other. This made that through history, the word racism has been connected to slavery. And just, 60 years ago, they decided to change this for the word ethnics. So an ethnia. So they took the word race to call ethnia or ethnicity. And ethnicity also means separation, segregation in between different cultures and races. It's the same word, but it comes from another language and it was used for another thing. So it doesn't have the same weight, the same heavy from slavery. So that's why we are using that. But as you can picture, we are just mentioning the same word, the same concept with a different word, just because history and something that was subjective. So actually, we are not taking care of the real problem, which is to accept that there are many races and the beauty of humanity being different. The beauty of humanity is that we have different races and that each one has a specific capacity and every individual is unique. That's the most important thing to acknowledge about races. The thing is that in history, they took that attribute of humanity and they took it against humans. But what we are doing is just covering now with different words and different concepts the reality. You cannot change the reality that there are many races, but you can put many ideas, subjective ideas upon, but that's what creates the conflict. Okay. So another example of this is the binary concept of humanity, the no binary. No binary is really a very subjective concept because we have nobody can tell you what you are. That's for sure. What you consider that you are. A man can feel and recognize itself as a woman. A woman can feel and recognize herself as a man. And that's no discussion about it, because it's subjective. It's something that you feel, that you know, that you have within. So it's okay. It's fine. So it's something that I would never disagree with, because it's objective. It's something that you feel. So nobody can tell you nothing against that. If you feel that you are a man or a woman, if you feel that you are no binary, it's perfect. Indeed, actually, when our human evolution is trying to go to that neutrality, is going to try to understand that we are all one, and that from the subjective point of view, there's no need to make a difference between feminine and masculine. That's of course, that's something that I also agree with that. But when we go to the objective, there is only binary unless you are a hermaphrodite. There is masculine and feminine, and that's it. Those are the two sexes that you can find. So it's a really huge problem sometimes when maybe you have, I don't know, a conflict and someone has to attend you, like with medicine, and maybe you say I'm a man but you're a woman, and they put you some I don't know, medicine that is not good for a woman. You know, these kind of things that objectively in biology you cannot say I am a woman if you're a man. That's what I mean. So objectively, your body is woman or male. Subjectively, you can be whatever you want. You are whatever you want. But this is our human evolution. The conflict that we have here is that we are trying again through unconsciousness to put our subjective point of view into the objective point of view. That's the main conflict that we are having. So how do we become conscious? What is human consciousness? Human consciousness is when we take our subjective point of view in order to relate and connect the different objective points, the objective realities. So as an example for this, we can understand the next. Most of the animals and other species and vegetables, they don't have a specific idea of the other one. Just a few species of animals like dogs, cats, whales, dolphins, some of those species of those mammals are they are aware of the other ones, of the other species, but they don't have the clue exactly of the other one being a group of something and what place that other being is occupying in the entire network of the planet. So actually the humans are the only animals that can relate why every species is important. Is the only animal that can study each one of them and look for solutions to solve their problems. Because we subjectively can see a network connecting all of them. This is why, from subjective point of view, humans can help many species, can help to create a network to help the planet, the global warming, and so on. Because we can see beyond from what animals see right there. The animals see right there the problem. We can see beyond the future. So because we see reality in a subjective way, different from all the animals, we can prevent and make a provision of the problem so we can think about the solutions. So I'm speaking about the conscious, okay? I'm not speaking about the unconscious, because the unconscious, like most of the humans, if they have to cut trees, they cut trees to build houses because everyone have done that in the past. Everyone has cut trees, so why not cut trees? So that's unconscious, okay? I'm just speaking about conscious. So the subjective point of view is the one that helps humans to see the future, to imagine the future, and of course, to solve problems in a network. So a very conscious aspect of humans, of humanity, is that our ability to see beyond in a very subjective way is the one that allows us to see the invisible. And that makes us the only species that can live a reality through a multidimensional idea. We can perceive everything through a multidimensional reality, and we create our civilizations according to a multidimensionality. So this means that we can think about the divine concept and connect it to the worldly concept. So we can connect heaven and earth. So our conscious aspect in evolution is to be a bridge between many dimensions, between heaven and earth. The only animal that can connect the external world with the internal world and manifest through all the dimensions our internal world into the external world. So there are animals that can perceive other dimensions, but they cannot manifest those dimensions here. So basically our species is evolving in a consciousness related to a multidimensionality that can unite the subjective point of view with the objective point of view, and to manifest the invisible into the visible. The vibration today is Ku. The statement today is, I am the root of time. The code today is the node of Hawaii, connected to the constellation of Cancer. Let's go to the alignment. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate in your breathings. I take a deep breath and I become aware of my entire physical body, from my feet to my head. I become aware about my human body, paying attention to each part of it, to every cell, and how they were designed in order for me to be a human. I honor my feet and legs for allowing me to walk, to stand still. I honor my hands and arms that allows me to handle, to make, to create. My back, my spine holds me from heaven to earth in an axis, as my face can see the sky and the horizon. I honor the body that I have, which is a bridge in between the divine and the world. I massage and caress all my body, giving to myself the love of being human. As I touch the body, I recognize that I am a multidimensional being, that I can perceive all realities in every one of its possibilities through time, through the past, present, and future. I can acknowledge that my multidimensional reality as a conscious being allows me to connect different consciousness from the mineral, elemental, vegetal, and animal with the consciousness of the universe, the existential, all with the atom. I recognize myself as this aware species that can see beyond from what it is, that can connect the invisible with the visible. And this is why I recognize myself as responsible and conscient for all the kingdoms of this world. For I am the only species that is able to manifest the invisible in the visible, the subjective into the objective. For I can see beyond space, for I am a root of time. I am the root of time. I am the root of time. I am the root of time. And to be aware of time is what makes me a unique species in the animal kingdom. I can feel the time. I feel, I feel, I feel. Let's rise above of kindness yet for light and sun. Times we forgot and given brought him on. She don't be forgot. For love and sun. And take a deep breath, and each one at its own time, come back here and now. Thank you everybody for being here another day, and as always, see you tomorrow at the same time.